Hello, my friends. Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works Man Cave. How y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing well. I have a short video for you today. It's about, well, I say short. It's 8 or so minutes, maybe 10 minutes. And it's mostly on shop improvement, but there's a couple of little side detours, little small things. So we may as well go ahead and get into that. So here it is. We've been getting quite a bit of rain. Sue has a pile of gravel, by the way, that I'm walking by it here, and she ordered that in. She's spreading it around in different places. We got a lot of rain over the last couple of days. In fact, almost too much. She's making a pad over there to store things like extra equipment and stuff. I hear the martins down here, so I thought, well, since it's early, I'll just stop down here and see about how many there are. See if they're still here or what the whole story is. I think the sparrows are starting to move in, is what I think. So I think the babies are out and flying, and there's quite a few of them down here this morning. They must have just been out foraging the last time I looked at them. Let's see about how many. Well, there's not very many. 2, 4, 6, maybe 8 or 10. That looks like that's about all that's left, is about 8 or 10. So, not very many. I was just curious myself. It won't be long, they'll all be gone. Just another week or two, I bet they'll be gone. I can't imagine flying all the way down under your own power, you know, flying all the way down to the Amazon basin in South America from here. I mean, just to get to Texas, it seems like a long flight to me. Oh my goodness. Sue's doing some more cleanup right here. She's filling this all in with gravel. That's a rock platform there that was made a long time ago where a feeder sat for cattle. So we've been setting our implements on there, and then this gravel will just be good to be able to get over to it, you know, without tearing up the dirt. There was dirt there. I don't know if this log is long enough, but if it is, I might use it to make boards for that trailer down there that Sue had the boys rip the boards off. I think it needs to be 12 foot long at least. Might need to be longer than that. That's really close to 12 foot. It might not be that long. I think I'm gonna do shop improvement for this morning. Everything is so wet. I mean, it's really, I don't know if you can see it in the ground, but even this gravel's really soaked up wet. I can even feel myself kind of pushing down in the gravel, walking across it. It's that wet. We got quite a bit of rain yesterday. Well, let's see. I think my shop improvement project for today is going to be, well, for sure this area right here, maybe this whole area, but just getting that cleaned up will take some time, and getting it organized better. So this is the area where we mostly store battery related stuff, chargers mainly. Then up here I got some grinding stuff and some wire, just miscellaneous stuff sitting around. So I'm going to organize it, get it cleaned up, straightened up. I have a new battery charger coming, I believe. There was a company, they were on again, off again on whether they were going to send it to me. It supposedly is a big battery charger, and you know, it's supposed to be, you know, a very good battery charger. I don't know, but I don't know if they're sending it or not, but I figure I might as well clean this mess up anyway, and then if it does come, I'll have a place to put it. Now, doesn't that look better? You know, all that mess cleaned out of there, except for the fact that all the mess is over here, and it's over here. So what did I gain? I don't know, not much. Not yet, anyway. I just thought I'd show you what it looks like nice and clean. I vacuumed it, swept it all off, vacuumed it up real good, so it's as good as it's gonna get for this shop. Oh well, I'll keep going. Making progress, not very far yet, but I'm gonna use this shelf for battery chargers. Maybe this shelf now that I just built this shelf. That was what I really wanted to show you, is I just took some of my rough sawed cedar. It's a little over 1 inch thick and makes a good thick heavy shelf. So I'll probably put the battery chargers on that shelf. This would be other battery paraphernalia. It might even be batteries at sometimes. There's my battery tester, and this is another battery tester here. I've got some other extra cables for batteries and things, and for these testers also, and for the chargers. So I don't know what to do with all that stuff yet, but I basically want to keep it all over here. But we're making slow progress. In the middle of this, I tested this little battery, and it tested only like 4 volts. So I put this charger on repair for a while to bring it up a little bit. And now I've got it charging it like it's a motorcycle battery, and we'll see if it works. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Side benefit is I found this, and this is a heater and a fan, so this could potentially go in the Bobcat or even possibly in my Ranger. But I mean, it's not going to be very good since they're not enclosed cabs, and I don't really like enclosed cabs. I'd rather have it open. Now, if I had air conditioning, I'd like a closed cab. But without air conditioning, I don't want a closed cab. Also, while cleaning, I dug out this thing. Do you know what that is? Some of you will know. But only those that have been around a long time on the channel, and I mean a long time, will have seen this in operation, or perhaps remember it when I built it. Yeah, I made this, and so like it's got its, notice right here, it's got its own catch. You can turn it this way, and then it catches, you know. What it is a rope maker. So you put your twine on here on 3 different places, and you go out, way out there, quite a ways, because as you twist the rope and make the rope, it shortens it a lot. So I would say it shortens it by 2/3. So in other words, if you have a 30-foot piece that you start with, you're going to end up with a 10-foot rope. It's probably a little longer than 10 foot, but you know, it really shortens it a lot. So it's difficult to use, but it makes good rope. In fact, that rope that I'm using on my rake that I throw out in the pond, I made that out of nylon baler twine. Now this is not nylon, this is the jute type binder twine. But anyway, I can even make a rope out of that, and it makes a nice rope too. So, and you can double it up. Like in other words, if you just have one strand, you'll make a very thin rope. It'll only be a 1/4 inch at the most. But what I do is I'll double it up. I'll put 2 or 3 strands here, 2 or 3, you know, and anyway, it makes a much thicker rope that way. It works really good. I'm actually surprised how well it works. Okay, this Yonhan battery charger has been charging this for about an hour, so I'm just curious to see if it's fixed. So let me unplug it here and see what it's done. It used to only be 4 volts, so let's see how many volts it is now. Let's see, 11.7. It's holding at 11.7 there. Pretty, and it's dropping a hundredth every few seconds there. So maybe it's I don't know. We'll just see. I'm going to plug it back, put it back on there. It's still on motorcycle battery, so I'll just let it go till it says full, but I just wanted to check. It's been on there about an hour, and like I said, it only had about 4 volts. In fact, none of the chargers would charge it because it was below the minimum. So I put this on repair, let it charge for about 20 minutes on repair, then it brought it up enough that it actually would do the normal charging. So I've got it on normal charge, and let's just see what happens. Well, it's about 11:15 already, and this is not finished charging, so I will have to report on this at a later date. Hopefully I'll remember to tell you on Monday. Well, I'm still making progress down there. I still have a long way to go, in my opinion, but every little bit helps, you know. Before I forget it, this evening, and this is mainly for the benefit of Tony out there if he's watching, we will have our jam at the Houston House this evening. And for anybody else that might want to come, that's down in downtown Newburgh. And it's not hard to find. It's just before the road crosses over the railroad tracks. There's you'll see the Houston House sitting there. It's not hard to find. You'll see it. Let's see. The other thing I should have made video on this was yesterday. I told you I was thinking about going out with the metal detector on. Well, just about the time I grabbed the metal detector and started to go out, Sue goes, "Can you fix Mary's car?" I said, okay. So I put the metal detector down. It's just as well because it started raining about that time. Anyway, we pulled Mary's car into the shop there, and she had been driving down the interstate. If you don't know, Mary's my granddaughter. She's the one that was the basketball star at Newburgh. Anyway, she hit a piece of a tire, I guess, that was on the interstate or something, and it flew up and it hit her, not her headlight, but the light below that. I guess it's the signal light, I guess is what you'd call it. But you know how they make those these days. Everything's just a big unit. It's just this great big crystal-y looking thing, you know. It's got one little light bulb inside of it, but, you know, it's this great big thing. And, you know, they don't give those away anymore. If you break those or, you know, bust them, you're spending at least $50 for one of those, and probably closer to $100, and maybe more than that. So anyway, it didn't break the lens. In fact, the part that you see out in, you know, that the light shines through, all that's perfect. But all of the supports and the brackets on the inside got busted out. So I took that all apart. Well, actually, her boyfriend was there. He did all the mechanical work, but he took it all apart and gave it to me. And there was basically 4 pieces. The main body of it, and then 3 legs were broke off. So I used CA glue to glue them back on first, and then I used the plastic welder with those little wire inserts and inserted wire all through it. And then I also just coated it back over with some more CA glue to make sure those wires were coated good and everything. It's solid as it could be. So that saved her a few dollars. Put that back in. And somewhere in there too, I also repaired a little pop-off thing on Sue's pressure cooker. You know, they're just constant. It's just constant. You think I'm kidding? You'd think, as far out as we are removed from everything, out here in the middle of nowhere, you'd think you'd just be able to sit around and do nothing for 5 minutes. That doesn't generally happen. It's just nuts. David Tharp says, howdy y'all. Ronald Todd, good afternoon, Jerry and everyone from the West Banks of New Jersey. Bill Webb says, good afternoon. May not get to watch live, but I'll watch it later. Okay, well, Hope you do. BH Ringer from Nova Scotia's there. Rick's picking hot all. Joe Cool, find tranquility in the simpler moments of life this afternoon. Maybe if I get to that jam this afternoon, I'll try that. Gino Hitch. Hi, Jerry and friends. Trying to keep the bird feeders full. The grass has slowed down growing. Too hot to mow anyway. Yeah. Well, my bird feeder's kind of lagging right now. I need to get out and get some more feed, I guess. Boy, they don't give that stuff away anymore either. I'd like to get that thistle feed. That's the most expensive of all. If you know what I'm talking about, it's that real tiny little black seed. It comes from thistles, I guess. And anyway, the yellow, the old timers in the Ozarks call them wild canaries. They're actually goldfinches is what the proper name is, but I remember my grandparents calling them wild canaries. But anyway, I would like to attract the goldfinch. I just think they're pretty, and it's a color I can see really good, that yellow, bright yellow. I don't get to see all the other colors. So it'd be nice to have them around here. But man, that thistle seed is ridiculous. I think for a 40-pound bag, maybe, might have been 50, is $75, which isn't too bad if you buy it that big. Now, if you buy it in the small quantities, it's, instead of being like $1.50 a pound, it's more like $3 a pound, if you buy the small quantities. So I was going to buy a big bag of it, but then again, I thought $75 to feed some birds. I don't know. I probably should do it. Dottie praying for us. Thank you, Dottie. And she's praying for everybody. And then Bo praying for Bo's wife there. Let's see. Kim Z says hi from Arizona. Dottie says hit the like button. And I wish you would. It would help me out. Tom Armstrong. Yay, a proud owner of a new Bourgeois M5F CR mandolin from the acoustic shop. My guitar may be angry with me for a while. Thanks for some insight on the mandolins the other day. You're welcome, and that sounds like a nice one. Bourgeois, they make good stuff. That's kind of I think the acoustic shop refers to Bourgeois as a boutique mandolin. So you're in the upper echelon there, you're walking around with the big boys. Don Nice. Thank you, Dottie. Okay. Let's see. Moving on down. Don Nice says, Dottie, ask Jerry to play a song you like. Okay. Well, we may get to that. Dottie's talking to B.H. Ringer. Tom Armstrong says, mandolin is Cordovan red. Quite lovely from an old goldsmith's perspective. Yeah, I bet that is a pretty one. Michael 2X says, hey, Rosemeister. Ronald Todd's talking to Dottie there. Tom Armstrong, what do you recommend for a mandolin pick thickness? Well, some of you all, I can't remember who it was, unfortunately, but I got 2 of these in the mail. This has been my favorite pick forever. I've been using this for about 5 or 6 years now. There's no wear. Look at that. There's no wear on that at all. That's the way that pick came. I've got 2 of them. They don't wear. These are blue chips. They're expensive. I don't know what they cost these days, but back then they were $40, $50 for a pick like this. And if you'd asked me, would I pay $40 or $50 for a pick like this? I said, are you nuts? There's no way I'd pay $40 or $50 for a pick like this. Guess what? If I lose this, I'm going to go buy me one of these. That's how good I like it. I used to always use the standard guitar size pick, just the normal guitar looking pick. But ever since I got these this 3-cornered picks, I like these. I've gotten used to it, using it, and I really like it. I wouldn't trade. I would stay with this myself. That's just me. In terms of thickness, this says a 50, which I believe is 0.50 50 thousandths of an inch, which is the equivalent of about 1.1 millimeters. Most picks are sold in millimeters, I think. So that's what I recommend, honestly, is about a 1 millimeter to about a 1.2 max. Now, a lot of people go all the way up to a 2 millimeter pick, and that to me is overkill. Again, I always believe in the point of diminishing return. And I think below 1, you're kind of hurting on a mandolin. Now, a guitar's different, guys. I'm talking mandolin. So on a mandolin, I say a 0.1 or greater. A 1 millimeter or greater, up to about a 1.2. And I wouldn't go above a 1.2, which is, so in terms of thousandths, that's 40 thousandths to about 60 thousandths. That's what I would recommend. They're good and stiff, but not ridiculously thick like the 2 millimeters. 2 millimeters just feels like you're holding a brick in your hand or something. It's just too big to me. But that's just me. Everybody's different. So roughly, Tom, 1 millimeter is kind of your average there. 1.1. Actually 1.1 was my favorite for years, and that's what this is. So I'm still at 1.1. Moving on down here. Dottie says, I feel sorry for the hummingbirds. Yeah, and I've been slacking on that too. I got a couple of hummingbird feeders out, but I haven't been paying them the attention I should. Bill Mombo says, hi, you folks. Paul Lanier says, hi from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He says, beautiful day over here. Barometric pressure changed my femur rod hurting like 10 molar toothaches. Will clear up by dark, I hope. Well, I hope so too. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Bruce Ducker. Greetings, folks. Hope everyone is well, considering. Have a great weekend. And it scrolled on me. Now I got to find it. There it is. Ronald Todd says, flat surfaces. Talking about my shop. Yeah. Unfortunately, you got to have them if you're going to work on anything. Wavy Gravy. My neighbor suggested I see his fortune teller. I said, is he any good? And he said, good? Why, he once told King Kong that he was going to fall really hard for a cute little blonde. You know what? He did. I saw it in a movie. Paul Lanier is talking to Dottie. And let's see, Ronald B5M says, good afternoon, Jerry and friends. Remember to keep the faith, love, prayers, and smile. And yeah, it's like that. It's definitely good words to live by, but it's kind of like when you're in that swamp. It's really hard, and you're surrounded by alligators. It's really hard to remember you're supposed to drain the swamp. Yeah. Bruce Ducker, you know darn well, Jerry, if you had nothing to do, you would be fidgeting like a caged raccoon. Yeah, you're 100% correct. I can sit, as long as there's something that I find interesting on YouTube, and for me, it's not the same as most people. It's got to be something about how to build this, how to fix that, how to do such and so. That's what I find interesting. And as long as I can find something like that, I can sit there and be content for a while. But just about the time it starts to get boring on the screen, well, then I'm looking for something to do. I got to get up and go do something. Buzzy Muswell says, Jerry, could you teach Canada how to clear their underbrush? The smoke from their wildfires has reached Northern Virginia. I have to keep the dogs in. Wow. Yeah. Boy, I tell you, though, the burning, it's good and bad, you know. It's bad when it's a wildfire like that. If it can be controlled, burning is a very good thing. A lot of people will hate that because it pollutes the air, you know. But, you know, the cars, the 90 million cars that are pumping out how many cubic feet of junk every 5 seconds, they don't pollute the air. Just because you can't see it. But seriously, a fire like that is really a good thing overall. And of course that'll keep it from. I mean, it'll burn bad this one time while it's wild, but that'll kind of keep you safe for a long time because it gets rid of all that stuff. And that's why here on the farm, we try to burn every so often. We haven't burned in a few years. We need to burn again. And we really will. Maybe this fall for sure. We're going to have to, you know, when the stuff dies back, we're going to have to get out and burn these fields and burn the areas because it really does help control wildfires for sure. But it also, what you may not realize is it instantly acts like fertilizer, and it just makes things so bright green that even I can see it. I mean, you can see a noticeable difference in the plants as they come back up. They're way greener than they would have ever been before the burn. Let's see. I think I lost my place again. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I've kind of lost my place. I don't know where I was at there. It looks like I skipped somebody or something. But Paul Lanier's talking to Dottie there. Ronald, good afternoon, Jerry friends. Remember to keep. Okay, I remember that one. Bruce Ducker, you know. Oh yeah, you know. I'd be like a cage raccoon. Yep. And then there's Buzzy Muswell talking about the fire. Okay, so now I guess I'm back to Tom Armstrong. There were tire pieces all over the place on our drive from New Hampshire to Missouri. Had to dodge big truck tire pieces in the road, and sides were littered everywhere. Yeah, boy, it is the truth. There's a lot of that tire stuff. But, you know, again, you're going to get me on my rant here about tires again, of course. That's why. They're junk. They are literally junk nowadays. How they've gotten away with this, it's incredible to me. It's the only thing that's a bigger scam is insurance. I mean, insurance and tires and what else? There's a couple other things like that. Well, all the politicians, of course. But it's the biggest scam ever. Tires, they have ripped us off so bad on tires. It's just unbelievable. And you won't know that unless you've been around tires working on them like I have my whole life, where you take them apart and you see what they're made out of. They're not made like that anymore. They're junk. They're absolute junk. You can poke your finger through the sidewall on most of these tires these days. I'm seriously telling you, it scares the living daylights out of me when you're coming head on with an 18-wheeler coming down the road. It's just pitiful. It's pitiful. And they just do it because that's money in their pocket. They're ripping you off. They're charging you as much or more for these crummy tires that have gotten so thin and so weak. Yeah, it's just, man, it's bad. They'll go to hell for it. I mean, serious. It's pitiful. It's just ridiculous the way they do this stuff. Paul Lanier, Jerry, thanks for luthier tool building inspiration through the time. I've been watching your videos. It helped more than you realize. Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, there's a whole lot of luthier tools that can be made, you know, like my fret file. I mean, it's nothing more than just a 6-inch mill bastard file and glued to a piece of wood, and that thing works great for what you do with it. And I wouldn't trade that for 5 free long ones that they do the whole fretboard with. I wouldn't trade my one little file for 5 of those brand new. Those things are junk in my opinion, but everybody thinks that's the way you have to do it. But Once you understand it and really understand it, that's not the way to do it. Mike Saba, Jerry, that's a nice green field of grass. Is that for the horses? Out in front, well, that's supposed to be our hay field, and we were supposed to be cutting hay off of it, but Sue mows it now. She just mows it, and she needs to put the fence around it, at least let the horses pasture on it. It's so frustrating because I was cutting that for hay every year, and we were putting up, anywhere between 150 and 200 bales of hay every year for the horses. And JR says, let me sell all your old junk equipment because I was always working on it. It was a strain, trust me. I agree it was a pain, but I got it done, because I don't mind the work. I just get out there and get it done. But he doesn't like to do that kind of work, manual labor. He wanted to, let me get rid of all that stuff, and I'll go buy some stuff that we can, bigger stuff. And so he did, and he's got the equipment. Has he baled any hay with it since? Nope. So that green field that's out there is really pretty to look at, but that's all it's doing is just looking at it. Nothing's benefiting from it. Did you ever hear it's not easy being me? GPO Marine Shop. Hi, Jerry. Saw a YouTube channel with a brush hog like yours. It had a front wheel on an extension pipe. Does yours have that provision? Is that for deck protection? I'm not sure I get what you mean. Are you talking about the brush hog that I made for my Bobcat and it has a wheel on the front like that? The one I took the wheel off of it because I didn't need the wheel on it. In fact, I cut all the extra parts off of it because with the Bobcat, you just hold it out there at any level you want. You don't need a wheel. But on the tractors, because we have two other brush hogs for tractors. One of them is, I think it's the bush hog. That's not it. There's a common brand that's pretty common. It's a red one, but I can't think of it. But anyway, we've got one of those, and we have another John Deere one. And both of those have the wheel trailing in the back. And almost all, in fact, all brush hogs that I'm aware of have the wheel trailing in the back that are being pulled by a tractor. But the ones that you use for the Bobcat, when you put them out front, you never use a wheel on them that way. I don't know if that cleared it up or made it 10 times worse, but I hope it cleared it up. Bill Mumbo, Jerry, at my godfather's funeral last week, they handed out packs of flower seed for us to plant. Harry loved wildlife. He was 90. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear about that, but yeah, that sounds like a nice thing to do and plant it all in his memory. That's a cool thing. And it scrolled on me again. Man, it's hard to keep track of this thing. B.H. Ringer, he's talking to Dottie. No fires close by, but some in Nova Scotia. The ones that are sending smoke south are in Ontario. Wow. GPs forgot the question marks, I guess. Joseph Supley, Jerry, you definitely have me convinced that you are busier than a one-arm paper hanger, and I believe it's not easy being you. I love your willingness to help others. I like your work ethic. Well, thank you. Paul Akers, hey all, and Joseph Supley's got a retracted one. Dottie says, how is Cambry doing on her lessons? Well, if she comes to the jam tonight, this will be the second time I've helped her. If she comes tonight, right after, I gave her that one lesson at the Houston house, and then they basically took off and went to Florida. They've been in Florida for a long time now, and they came back on the 16th, which would have been yesterday. So hopefully they'll be at the jam tonight. I need to send her a text and remind her if she can make it. I don't know if she'll make it or not. So I don't know how she's doing. I did send her the training, and of course she got one of the the USB things that was corrupt and it didn't work. So I sent her another one. So it should have been there when they got home. But again, she just got back yesterday, so I doubt she's done anything with it. So I don't know, but I hope she does well. Now, I did loan her. I loaned her one of my good mandolins. I would say it's a $6,000 mandolin, and I loaned it to her. And I guess maybe I'm too trustworthy. I don't know. And Joseph Supley says, hey, everyone, give Jerry a thumbs up. Yeah, do that, because that may be all I get for that mandolin. Wavy Gravy, last week when the doctor wasn't looking, my neighbor got a glimpse of his medical record. It said, has no history of mental illness. In fact, no history of any mental activity. I wish I could have read all that and made that all make sense in one. I just get bits and pieces of that, but I basically know where it was going. I mean, I think I got it. It is not easy. Just reading is the hardest thing for me. Cupical, I like the song about the ghost. It's not Mary had a little lamb, but it's something about Mary. Well, that's a good song. I could do that. Dottie, message retracted, and then Dottie says, I can't remember the name of the song, but it's your favorite gospel song. Well, I could do that too. Tom Armstrong, so this mandolin doesn't have a pickguard on it. Are they necessary? They're absolutely necessary. Get one on there. No, I don't like pickguards. I take them off. That's just me. But see, now some guys hit it. I mean, some guys literally tear this up. And if that's the case, if you're one of those guys, then yeah, I'd say get a pickguard. But I never hit that. I never touch it. I don't even hit it with, I leave my fingers hanging like this. I don't even hit it with my fingers. So I don't know how other people hit it so much. I truly don't. It boggles my brain how they hit the top of their mandolin. It doesn't make sense. Does not compute. Let's see. The Mary song is Bringing Mary Home, and man, I don't know. I'll try. I haven't done this in quite a while. We always did this at the elementary schools because it's a ghost story, you know, and we always play there in October, so it's kind of Halloween type thing. So the kids are always listening to this one. They like this song. I was driving down a lonely road on a dark and stormy night when a little girl by the roadside showed up in my headlight. I stopped, she crawled in the back, and in a shaky tone she said, my name is Mary, please won't you take me home? She must have been so frightened, alone there in the night. There was something strange about her, and her face was deathly white. She sat there pale and quiet, in the backseat all alone. And I never will forget that night I took Mary home. I pulled into the driveway where she told me to go. I got out to help her from the car, then I opened up the door. But I just could not believe my eyes, for the back seat was bare. And I looked all around the car, but Mary wasn't there. Then a light shone from the front porch. Someone opened up the door. And I asked about the little girl that I was searching for. The lady gently smiled as she brushed a tear away. And she said it sure was nice of you to go out of your way. But 13 years ago tonight in a wreck just down the road, our darling Mary lost her life and we miss her so. Thank you for your trouble and the kindness you have shown. You're the 13th one that's been here bringing Mary home. Wow. Nothing like having a lot of practice. Yeah, I just barely could get through that, man. I missed a note or two and just couldn't get my hands to work. All right, my favorite gospel song, I'm going to do that out of the key of E. I usually do it in F. I'll just do it out of E. It's just 1, 4, 5. So E, A, and B. It's called He Took Your Place. Upon that rugged cross of Calvary, 'twas there my blessed Savior cried, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Oh, sinner friend, for thee he died. His hands are gently knocking on your door. Outside he's pleading to come in. His heart is breaking as he waits for you to wash you free from every sin. Someday he's coming back to claim his own, and we'll fly to heaven's golden shore. A crown of life he gives on that glad day. With him we'll live forevermore. And his hands are gently knocking on your door. Outside he's pleading to come in. His heart is breaking as he waits for you to wash you free from every sin. Those cruel thorns that pierced my Savior's head, the blood was running down his face. Ashamed, forsaken, there he hung and died. Oh, sinner friend, he took your place. His hands are gently knocking on your door. Outside he's pleading to come in. His heart is breaking as he waits for you to wash you free from every sin. Yeah, some people say that those last two verses, should be reversed. And I can sort of see their point, but that's not the way they do the song. And the reason is because it ends on the line, he took your place. And and that's the name of the song, He Took Your Place. So that to me is why you do it that way. Let's see. Go back. Yeah, we're talking about the pick guard there. GPO Marine Shop has a message retracted, and Don Nice says, Jerry, I'm happy with a song every day. It keeps me happy. Well, thank you. GPO Marine Shop says, thought about why not name the pond after the old 40-year-old carp that passed. The old carp pond. Yeah. Cup Cool. Thank you. It was just, well, thank you. Appreciate it. Bill Mumbo playing along on the guitar. Well, cool. Dottie says, fantastic. Thank you, Dottie. And then Don Nice, Jerry, I think you're making many people happy. Well, that's nice. And then Don Nice says, awesome. Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Well, I guess that's it. I'm going over the weekend. I'm going to try to get out a video. I'm going to try to get out a video on repairing those feeders for Sue's horses, and it'll be a complete video. You just saw a little piece of it there, but I do some welding and fabricating and stuff, and of course I'm featuring the new welder and the new plasma cutter that I got. But really, I try to find a good project that, I can use those new tools on to feature them. I don't like to just have a video of just featuring the tool. So that's just my style. I hope you like it, and I hope you'll watch it. Y'all take care. We will see you on Monday, if not before.